Finally, okay. Happy Friday, everyone. I don't know why I'm feeling so. I always feel excited when I get in here and I get to share with you. I speak with each of you throughout the week, but there's something about the collective energy that we share here. It just gets me bouncing. I'm going to share with you the top three fourth quarter deal breakers. I'm calling them fourth quarter deal breakers because, like, it's serious. They're serious. They're simple, but they're serious. And so I have seen this happen over my nearly 3 decades of doing this, right? So I know what's going on. I'm going to share with you. I hope you're taking notes or whatever. So there's three that I'm going to share with you today, and we're going to go in depth, but I'm not going to keep you long because really filled up my office hours today. It is jam-packed. I might even try to get out of here a little earlier. So let's go. Oh, for those of you that are not already a part of Business Boost, but you're in FamFave, go ahead and go to wasimilaw.com/FamFave, FAMFAV, or you can text I'm in at 646 859 3915. You will not be able to get into Business Boost because we only have 6 weeks left. But there's a lot of resources that we'll be able to share with you if you go ahead and text I'm in. All right. Okay, let's get going. Start. All you need is one, but today I have three, meaning all you need is one deal breaker. So if you already that were a part of Business Boost, you remember there were three areas that I always implore people to work on, right? I encourage you to do that. And so same, three is just a thing with me, right? So today I have three deal breakers for you, but if you pick one, that will be enough. One is enough. I want you to do all three of these. I do. And as we go through them, you'll see a lot of them are integrated already in your program if you're part of Business Boost. If you're not a part of Business Boost, please just go watch the mini boost. It's a quick summary, a quick little rundown, and it'll give you some guidance is what we're talking about. I think it's important that you do that. So on these Fridays from now till the end of the year, I don't want you to be lost. Like, what are you talking about? So check out the mini boost if you didn't already sign up for Business Boost. Okay. I always like to have this slide here because it reminds me that I want to talk about my mug. Okay. So today, this is the mug of the day. No writing, nothing. This is a mug from my son. He actually gave me two. It's a set. And he's just wonderful. He gives the best gifts. He gives the best gifts. But I love it because like you can see what's in there and you can just and I like to stick a cinnamon stick in there. Today I'm not having coffee. I don't know. I feel like you all were getting on me about my coffee because I was having a lot. So for the past, what is this, the second week I've tried to put a chill on coffee. Not because I think coffee's bad, but I wanted to see if I was addicted. So I love it. This is hot chocolate, and I can't have sugar. I have some weird, what do you call it? Weird sensitivity to sugar. Like I break out, I'll itch, whatever, so I can't have sugar unless it's a natural sugar. I can have natural sugars, but that white lab produced sugar, for whatever reason, my body can't take it. But when I stick the cinnamon stick in there, cinnamon is a natural sweetener. So good. So give thanks to my son for this clear mug, and I love it. I love him. Even though he didn't want to complete law school. Listen, we all got issues. I'm working on that one. I'm working on that one. So that's my mug of the day. And let's get back over here. Talking about you only need one, but today I have three to share with you. Okay, so before we dive into that, I like to do a summary, and I'm going to do it every week. One, because most of us, myself included, need a little reminder. And then also, it's because not everyone that comes to the Fridays sessions is already in Business Boost. But I want them to know what we're doing so that they don't get lost in the conversation. Right. So week 1 through 4, y'all did amazing, amazing in terms of just auditing, not just your business, but yourself And what I love about this group and each of you, it's that I didn't have to really emphasize that. Y'all were already in the headspace of, let me do some introspection. I'm like, what? This is good because I usually have to teach that a lot. I didn't have to do that this time. So auditing your business, auditing yourself, and from there, naturally getting a blueprint for your next steps, right? And then week 4 through 6, bounce and implement. So last week and then the week before, we were talking about bounce because week 1 through 3, then you get into that third week, fourth week, you need to pause. Why? Because you did this big audit. Why? Because you walked through and you made a plan of how to end this year strong. Now you got to pause. And after the pause, the bounce, right? So last week I was talking about how sometimes we think of the bounce meaning like, okay, yeah, let's go. There's no more challenges. And what I didn't want to say, as I was explaining to the bounce previously, and maybe y'all would even signed up if I had told you what the bounce is. The bounce is really where it's challenging. Think about a rocket, right? Breaking that barrier. That's the bounce, right? And then implement. That's the rinse and repeat place. And so what we're doing right now, we're walking towards embodiment. Embodiment. So if you follow along and this step-by-step guidance that I'm sharing with you, it should be easy, if not painless. It should be easy to follow. So that's where we are right now, walking towards embodiment. So yeah, here's another visual of what the 12-week business boost is like. So what are your next steps? How are you coming along in your fourth quarter goals? Let's talk about it. You can drop anything in the chat if you want me to comment on it, or you can use the Q&A option. Just talk about it. Like, well, how are you coming along in your goals? Like, I know what you share with me. How are you coming along? Like since we last spoke, if anyone would like to comment or share, this is a great time to do it. It is anonymous, right? I have it set up anonymous on purpose because, you know, mm, hot chocolate is good. So good. I don't know if it's the mug or the hot chocolate. Let's see. Oh, someone says hello. Hi, Zen. Hi. Hi, let's talk about it though. And every week I'm probably going to go first. What has the challenge been for me during the bounce? I think that because I didn't prepare. I don't like to prepare. I like it to be like very authentic conversation. What has been my bounce? Let me do some introspection. So what I have been paying attention to this week is my triggers. What are my triggers? And when you know what your triggers are, like I said, it's not painless. The balance is not painless. It's easy, right? Because you know what to do. So I saw my triggers and I know what I like your triggers show you exactly where you need to work or you need to spend some time journaling or praying about it, whatever, whatever. So I found that let's see, I'll pick one. I was triggered a lot by this particular client, none of you all, none of you all, not my fam, a one-off, I guess that's what you would call it. They wanted um, an estate plan, not really an estate plan. They wanted some help getting the letters of administration. Anyway, flip-flop. And I mean, it was driving me crazy. Not just this past week, the past 2 weeks has been driving me crazy. Like, what is with you? You say this thing, you say that thing. Now, I had asked myself, why are you so vested? That's that person's life. They get to flip-flop. Why are you triggered? And so I was even thinking about that this morning, not knowing that I was going to share it, but it led me to the understanding that I like things to be structured. I don't mind flexibility. I don't mind B, C, D. I don't mind that, but I need a plan A. Okay, so why is that? So on surface, it might look like, oh, that's a good thing. You like order, you like your list, checking off the list, you're being productive. That, on the surface, it looks like that. And I have often prided myself, oh, I have a list. But as I went deeper this morning, I realized there was something in my earlier life where I didn't feel like I had stability and I had to create my own stability. And that's what's come up for me. That's what's come up for me. So that's something I need to work on. But it also gave me a place for gratitude because working with you all, everyone's so much on point. Y'all are going down the list, bullet points, checklist, whatever it is. And that gives me so much peace. Like we have plan A, and I got plan B and C in my back pocket, right? So if we get like mid-December, not mid-December, early December, and we need to course correct, I got you. But see, what is that? One, it's almost like trying to control things. So if y'all remember in the pause, when I did that session with Ray, um, I was struggling with the let go and let God. And so here it is 2 weeks later. That's what's really coming up because, oh, I got plan B, C, and D. That's not really allowing for divine wisdom. So that's all I got for y'all because it just came up today. I've been chewing on it all week. Like this person is pissing me off. Every time I talk to this, they have a new thing over here, over there. I want to do this. So what about that? Like, get what are you gonna send me into a panic attack? Yo, for real. It's been a struggle. The past 2 weeks have been a struggle. And this morning I realized why. Struggling with the let go, let God, and kind of wanting to be controlling, like knowing exactly what it is so that I can have peace, so that I can feel like, so I can exhale and move forward and do my work. And what I know is we got to exhale first and allow the energy to follow that, not I need this person to be this way so that I can find my peace. I need this person to be this way so that I can serve them well. I need this person, you see, that's controlling. So I got a journal about it probably sometime either this evening or over the weekend and work that out. I think I even need to go um, to the park, take my shoes off and do some grounding, hug a tree, because there's a lot there, so much that I don't even have the words to articulate it. But that part about um, not having what I needed or felt I needed in terms of stability in my early life, like that's the first piece. So I'll let y'all know the rest of it. So that's a little bit internal as well as external. So I'm sharing with that with you, one, because I just want you to know that this life is a journey, but also to know, I don't know who said it first, but the way you do one thing is the way you do all things. So even though that's a business activity, it's still affecting other areas of my life because it goes back to some root trauma, drama, whatever. So I'll be working on that. Somebody says, I'm working on restructuring my organization from the inside out with your team. And extraordinary. Oh, that's so sweet. Extraordinary guidance. Listen, if you are getting extraordinary guidance, it is because you're open to it. I haven't had to pull any teeth. I'm working with 6 women right now. And I've never worked with that many at the same time. And it's been the most peaceful, joyous season of my practice, the most peaceful, joyous season of my practice. I'm like, this is what I'm going to do forever. This is at least next year, in the foreseeable future, right? Because I got to let go, let God. But in my mind, like, this is so beautiful. And it just comes from a place of intuitively knowing who you need to work with. So not being afraid of saying no. I said no to so many people and yes to just 6 for this season. And the reward for me has been like, oh, this is so amazing. I feel like I'm doing more work, but it feels so wonderful to be able to be lined up with your ideal, like your ideal client. And for those of you, because I'm looking to see who's here, for those of you that are starting your business, learn from me. Be thinking about who's my ideal client, who do I want to work with. So learn from me. Because before I used to choose people to work with, like if they needed me, or oh, I have the perfect solution. Oh, I can help them. So it's all about them. I just want you to know y'all here because it's all about me. You make me feel so good. That's why you're here. And I'm like, this is great. This is great. This is great. So think about that for those of you that are getting ready to launch a business either next month or at the beginning of the year. Be thinking about your ideal client. You're working on your business plans. If you've gotten through that executive summary already, be thinking about who's your ideal client. And your ideal client is not the person that you can serve, that you can serve, because you can serve the world, right? But it's the person that lines up, that person that you can talk forever with, and you just have this amazing connection with. Make sure it's that. Think about your ideal client, whether it's a particular demographic, right? A particular, you want a client that makes a certain amount of money or lives a certain area or um, has a particular type of job or type of industry they serve, whatever. Get very specific. Right. And so I'll tell y'all one other little thing about that. So before I launched Business Boost and I decided, you know what, I'm not going to just open my arms to the world. I'm going to call in the women that I want to work with. And so what did I do? I went online. See, I'm taking y'all all under the hood, all behind the curtain. I went online and I did not a Google search, an image search for savvy businesswomen. Um, Senior, right? I didn't really want to work with kids. What was the other search? Confident, proud. So I did that. And as the images came up, I picked women that I wanted to work with. I'm like, oh, I think I'd love to work with her. And these are just stock images. But I took those images and I put it on one sheet. And before I even met you all, I started talking to these women. And if I were to show you that sheet, you would find yourself on there like, oh, that person looks a lot like me, or that person dresses a lot like me, or, oh, I like that type of um, cafe, like just the imagery, the vibe of it. Yes, it's important to pay attention to who your ideal client is. All right. Okay. So I already shared, and I'm thinking, well, since I'm talking about challenges, I don't want to, I'm not going to share any story today. I'm just going to jump into the three no-brainer non-negotiables. No-brainer. Okay. No-brainer non-negotiables. One, I'm popping through. I'm about to wrap this up quickly. Get your business strategy in order. Get your business strategy in order. A lot of times people think, oh, I need to get my a certain amount of capital together. You need your strategy together. Why? Because you don't even know what's the best entity structure. You don't know what's the best just to be trying to get capital and then you lose the capital because you put it in the wrong area. I hope you all remember, and I'm going to go over it soon again, but the session we did on it was the business strategy one, but it talked about all your assets. And I reviewed it in Business Boost too. So your business strategy, all of y'all are in business already, but fine tune your business strategy. You want to do that before you roll into next year. Okay. So does your entity need to be restructured? Do you need a holding company? Have you looked in your business and said, well, this is for profit, but I feel like I'm doing a lot of nonprofit stuff. So do I need to create a nonprofit service division? Um, you may be thinking about your board if you already have that organization in place and you want board members that actually feed the organization from the heart, not just from their pocket, although we do want board members that feed from the pocket as well, right? So be thinking about these types of things. You within your business strategy, I want you to be thinking about your intellectual property, just assets in general. But I'm big on IP because, I always ask this question, what's more valuable, the chair or the thought of the chair? And this is the question I ask the attorneys I train every semester. What's more important? And the answers will be split. Some will be like, oh, the chair is more important than just the thought of the chair. Then some people are like, well, I don't know. So no one's ever clear, those lawyers. Mind you, they've been through law school. No one's clear. It's the chair or the thought of the chair. I want you to know your intellectual property is the thought of the chair. If you can create a chair or an idea of a chair in your brain, then you can make a billion chairs, right? So that one chair, what is it, $12, $50, $200, $1,000, whatever, but times a billion. So be thinking about that in terms of your business, right? Because your business structure also has to do with your brand. So think brand, immediately think about your trade dress, your trademarks, all of those things, right? That's your brand. That's a part of your business strategy. A question in terms of business strategy and intellectual property is who's going to own the assets? Are you going to own the assets individually and then license it to your company? Or, maybe you need the company to own the asset and it's a business asset right away. Depends on what's going on in your life. Depends on what you have going on. So that's a conversation. Um, that's a conversation, right? So be thinking about one, what is the vision, right? Go back to the beginning. Just look at what you wrote down during audit when you're auditing yourself, auditing your business. That's going to let you know the direction and then break it into pieces. Who are the people? Who are the things? I mean, who are the people and what are the things, right, that I use every day in my business or that I desire to use every day in my business for those of you that are just launching, right? Be thinking about that. And that's going to help you with strategy. If you're not clear on strategy, let's make sure we cover that again. If you're in business boost, we've covered it. But if you're not a business boost, you can jump on a call with me anyway, just because you're part of Fam Faith, and we can have a business strategy discussion. It's important. I do not want y'all to be rolling into next year and your strategy's not solid, whether you're in Business Boost or not. Just because you're in Fam Fave alone, I need you to be thinking about, okay, what's my strategy short term? What's my strategy long term before the new year hits? Why? I'll get to the next one. I'm gonna tie it into number two, the second no-brainer, right? So we got business strategy. It's all tied together, right? So the next one after business, I'm making business strategy first because that's the foundation of everything. But then tax strategy. Get your tax strategy in order this month, next month. Do not look up and it's January 2026 and you need help. It will be too late. It'll be too late. I can't save you January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, whenever. It's too late. I was on a couple of calls this week with different I don't know what to call them, tax preparers. That's a nice general term. And we're talking about let me back up. We were talking about one or two of you here because I wanted to introduce you to them so that you have some options in terms of your tax strategy, right? And it's been a while since I've taken it up on myself to try to work with a client to find someone to work with. The majority of my clients just usually stick with our accountants and tax preparers on our team already. But with Business Boost, I'm making it open. Like, I'll help you find somebody. I don't care. Or if you have somebody already, introduce them to me so that we can make sure we're working together. Anyway, this tax strategy thing is so important. I'm not talking about deductions. We do need to talk deductions, right? We need to talk about that. But tax strategy is so important. I will give you one or two examples. Let me think, because I have to use an actual person. I'm very bad with coming up with hypos. Ah, I got one. One of y'all here today too, I think. Okay. So they have been it's a two, what do you call it? Multi-member LLC, so they're partners, and each of them have been traveling extensively around the world doing market research. Now, of course, they were on vacation, but they were planning these vacations, these specific areas, so that they can do this market research, so they could attend these factories, so that they could talk to certain individuals, right? So maybe they have a meeting on a Monday, and then they just stay there an entire week and fill the place out, whatever. The point is, they've been doing that a lot this year. If they don't have their tax strategy in place, and business strategy too, right? Meaning the entity formed this year. You can't form it in January and say, oh, let me claim in April what all that I did in 2025. It will not work. There's no way around that. People are like, oh, I was talking to somebody, oh, I know you get 3 years to amend, blah, 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 blah. I know I can go back and you cannot retroactively go back and claim any tax strategy on an entity that did not exist by January, I mean, sorry, by December 2025. Now, the entity didn't necessarily have to be formed in January 2025. July 2025, November 2025, but you got 365 days to get that thing formed in order to claim all of those deductions within your tax strategy. And I don't want to confuse deductions with tax strategy. The strategy informs the deductions, kind of goes like that. But my point is, I'm telling you how they work together. Business strategy is setting things up. The tax strategy is benefit from the setup. So you need to be set up properly. Where do you want to be formed? How's the entity formed? Which type of entity do you want to do it? Let's talk about your partners. In this situation, they're 50-50, but some of you, are majority or have a silent partner. All of that has to be taken care of before January. Right. So that's for the business strategy. And for the tax strategy, it has to be in place. So for you all that are out there being sole proprietors, and you hadn't actually filed for sole proprietorship, you had a side gig, or you're working a 9 to 5. And so what you've built this year is your exit strategy, right? And now you're going to do your business full time. That's your plan. But if you do not get that entity taken care of, I feel like I'm being redundant, but and maybe I'm triggered because that breaks my heart when people come to me and they realize they've lost tens of thousands of dollars in business expenses, right? So this goes across the board. Think about your business strategy, what you're doing, and your tax strategy. You have to have that taken care of. There's no help for you. And like I said, people don't, oh, I'm just going to amend it. They know when that company was created. It was created 3 years after. So your amendment is not going to help. Listen, as I'm chatting away, drop stuff in the chat if you have comments or questions. No problem. But I really want to hammer home to you how important the tax strategy is. But I also want you to know that the business strategy is more important than the tax strategy. Starting with the business strategy as the foundation. That's you. That's your vision. Where do you want this to go? How do you want it to be set up? All of that. That's your business strategy. Your tax strategy is how you're moving things around in there fiscally. Right? Okay. So the second thing is tax strategy. And then my favorite topic. My favorite topic at the end of the year. It's not always my favorite topic. My favorite topic at the end of the year is vetting your tax preparer. And I'm using the term tax preparer because I don't know, maybe the person you're working with is a really great bookkeeper. Or maybe you're working with a tax attorney that's really a glorified, not so good bookkeeper, right? Or maybe you're working with these titles. Oh, I have a license, I'm an attorney, I am an accountant, I have a CPA, all that. Listen, I don't disparage people's academic work that they put in life to acquire their licensure and all of that. But you want to pay attention to what their life experience has been, right? So we do an entire series. I think it's like a 3-week jam where we're talking about how to vet your tax preparer. How do you vet your tax preparer? And if you all want, drop something in the chat or in the Q&A directly to me and let me know if you want the checklist I have for how you vet your tax preparer. I was gonna put it up here, but I'm like, I don't want y'all to get too distracted from your last 6 weeks. So if you're working with me, I got you in terms of the vetting your tax preparer. Don't worry about it. But if you just want the checklist, I'll definitely send it to you. And so let's talk about it. How do you vet your tax preparer? If your tax preparer is not asking you about your business strategy, red flag. Because how are they going to do your taxes when they don't even know what you're trying to do with your business or what you're trying to accomplish? If they do not sit down with you and take your business strategy to create a tax strategy with you, or ask you if you have one, or say, hey, let me get on with Zen and you and let's do a meeting. I love meeting with you all in your tax preparers and talk through the tax strategy, red flag. Red flag. So just because they didn't ask you about it doesn't mean they're horrible. Sometimes, and I've been guilty of that, sometimes I've interviewed my clients so well, I already know what the business strategy is. Why? Because I'm like, okay, where do you want to be in the next 2 to 5 years? Where, all these things. So I already know what your strategy is or what I believe it is. So your tax preparer may have interrogated you and interviewed you in that way so much that they already know what your business strategy is. If you're not sure, ask them. Let's talk business strategy. Don't tell them your strategy because remember, they didn't ask. You can ask them, talk to me about my business strategy or what you think it is. That's a very important question. If they didn't ask you, you ask them. And if whatever comes out of their mouth does not add up to what you're doing in your business or where you want to go in your business, red flag, red flag, red flag. Red flags don't mean stop. It means slow down and pay attention, right? Next, you want to see if they create a tax strategy with you, ask you about a tax strategy, or share one that they prefer to use with you. Like, okay, based on your business strategy and what your expenses have been, this is a great strategy for you. And this strategy has XYZ deductions. If they're not having that conversation with you, now you got 3 red flags. Once you get to the third red flag, I don't know. 3 strikes, you're out. I don't know. I don't know. You might want to consider looking for someone else, or look for someone else. Look for someone else. Ask out in the community, like who are you using? How did you vet them? We share resources around here, so you can do that. But make sure your tax preparer is asking you that. That is super important. Because go back to what I said about the business strategy and then the tax strategy. And now your tax preparer, all these things work together like a pyramid to support you. And it's so interesting because you have to have that strong foundation of your business strategy in order to create a tax strategy. And then your preparer comes along and just ices the cake for you. So think of that. That's why I'm saying, but by the time you get to the vetting your tax preparer, they need to be asking you these questions. So I would not lead the conversation, because sometimes people can just tell what you want them to say and then they'll say it. Leave the conversation open so they can ask you questions. And if they're not asking you questions, that's problematic. And I'm hammering this home, not to annoy you all, but I know some of you, I know who's here. Some of you like to take a year's worth of bank statements, a bunch of receipts. What's the other thing? Like, y'all, all these invoices and just go dump it on the tax preparer. Listen, that feels amazing. That's like, ooh, handle it. Handle it, right? That feels amazing. But if you're not dealing with the right person, it can hurt you. And I don't even have to tell some of you that it can hurt you. Some of you are hurting right now. I'm going to be on some calls after this. This is why I need to try to wrap it up a little earlier than usual. I'm going to be on some calls after this with people that are hurting because they didn't vet their tax preparer, right? I get it. You're busy, growing your business, managing your team, and you're not a bookkeeper or you're not a just a numbers person, and you want to be able to go drop the file off. I get it. I make myself available to you all to drop files off to me too. I love it, right? It's my joy. But if it's not your joy, drop it off to me or drop it off to someone you trust. The right person, amazing. I am going to do a session on just how you prepare your books or how you prepare yourself for your tax preparer, because you don't want to just dump stuff off unless like I know somebody that has a lot of anxiety. They don't even open their bank statements. So that's some work they need to do with Ray and with me, and they're going to get through that. So if you're having anxiety about that, yes, maybe you need to drop your bank statements off and all of that. Maybe you need a bag of it. I see bags of it. Maybe that's what you do right now. So I'm not against it. I'm against you doing that with the wrong person. So if you're part of Business Boost and you are dumping stuff off, I'm not saying stop. I'm saying loop me in because I need to have a meeting with that person and you, right? And you can just sit there and observe and maybe ask questions, but I need to know how are they making sense of your bags of bank statements, or how are they making sense of your credit card statements, or how how they're doing that. They may be doing it just fine. But if they're hitting a red flag or two, and goodness, if it's three, and you've been with them a while and the relationship is important, I will gift you that to sit with you and that person and just say, it's easy. I'm bringing a new person onto my team, and we'd like to have a quick meeting with you to talk about tax strategy so that we make sure we end the 2025 with a smile. Right? Are you open to that? We've been working together all these years. I'm expanding and all the things that you need to say, but make sure you loop me into the conversation. Okay? So that's vet your tax preparer. Please, 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 please. It's the last one, but it's super important. It's super important. Even though it's the last one because we got to set a foundation of your business strategy and then your tax strategy, right? If your tax preparer is jumping right into deductions conversation, that's a red flag, right? Without having all these other conversations. If your tax person does not know the difference between tax strategy and tax deduction, that's a problem. And it's okay. If, like I said, if you want to loop me in, we also work with our clients to help them in terms of having sessions. Like, so if I met with your person and you love them, but there's some red flags, but you love them and you trust them anyway, I do the education piece too. I will sit that with them, work out a strategy, and show them exactly what they need to do for you. So somebody you love, you trust, they just need a little bit fine tuning with their skill set. I have no problem. I'd rather do that and help them help you than for your books to be done wrong and you to be filing all crazy, and then you're gonna have to come back and amend. And like I said from the beginning, if your business strategy isn't together from the jump, no amendment in life is going to help you. It'll just be too late, right? Okay. So, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. I just like to always open this up to anyone that's on the call today that may not be in Business Boost and they just need some support, whether they have a philanthropic enterprise or a for-profit business. And remember, philanthropic does not necessarily mean no profit. Keep that in your mind. Um, we do workshop series and growth intensive and all sorts of things. So I always want to make it open, even though these Fridays in the last quarter are geared toward my Business Boost people. I still want to let you know that I am available for a little bit, not a lot. My Business Boost people pretty much own me right now. this time of year. I want to give that to them. But if you need to jump on a quick call, listen, 6 weeks is enough. And that's for you all that are not a part of Business Boost. And for those of you that are a part of Business Boost, 6 weeks is enough. You are in that bounce phase and feeling the inertia of it and feeling the frustration of it. We got 6 weeks. You're good. You're good. Okay. In fact, we have more than 6 weeks. We really have more than 6 weeks. So if you are ready for next level strategies, and it seems like it is based on the conversations we have every week, um, if you value your assets and asset protection, 6 weeks you can do it, right? And this is a big one about releasing fear. So every week we need to be doing some inner work. I'll say every day, but every week you need to do some inner work. And it's like well, I can't remember who said this. Was it Katie Byron or John Jack Canfield? One of these people, they basically said there's Marianne Williamson. Who was this? Anyway, they said there's only fear and love, right? So in love, you're feeling gratitude, you're feeling joy, you're like, yeah, let's go. When you are in fear, it's like there's pain, you're holding back, there's regret, there's all these things. So if you're not feeling like bouncy, like joyful and full of gratitude, there's some fear that you can do some work around. I shared with you my trigger with this flip-flop client and acknowledging myself, oh, I've developed a behavior pattern around this needing uh consistency in my life. That's fear driven, right? That's not let go and let God. That's fear driven, right? And so if you're ready to let go of your fear, release your fear, work on that for yourself. 6 weeks is enough. If you know that you want to level the not level, leverage the same cheat codes that men used, 6 weeks is enough. If you don't want to use next level strategies, because I know what I'm talking about is not common. I know it. I train attorneys. I train accountants. I train strategists, people that have been in their field for decades and they don't know this stuff, right? That's next level strategy. If you're not ready for next level strategy, 6 weeks won't be enough because you're going the long route, right? If you don't value asset protection, 6 weeks is not enough because you know what? You're going to roll up to the end of the year and lose all kind of assets as we roll into 2026. If you do not want to release fear, that's a big one. 6 weeks ain't going to be enough for you because you're trying to hold on to your fear, and your fear is informing your next step. Your fear is going to be more important to you than business strategy. It may not be cognizant. Like, I don't know why I was getting triggered by this person flip-flopping, flip-flopping. I know now. So now I got to do some work around releasing that, right? And especially if y'all do not want the cheat codes used by men, 6 weeks is not enough. I'm telling you what I'm talking about right now and what I know each of you have to get done in this last quarter of the year. 6 weeks is not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough time to launch your business. It's not enough time to create your IP portfolio. It's not enough time to fine tune your tax strategy. 6 weeks is not enough unless you're going to leverage some next level strategies, unless you can release the fear, right? Unless you want to grab hold to the cheat codes. So I want to impress that upon you. Um, Join Business Boost. And I know you can't join like right now because we're only in the last 6 weeks, but you can certainly benefit by showing up every week and having these conversations. You can certainly benefit by booking a call with me to have a conversation about your business strategy. I wouldn't be able to be on the call for hours like I do people that are in Business Boost, but I'm not going to let you sit up here in fan fave and not have access to me for these very important things: business strategies, tax strategy, um, and like I said, vetting your tax preparer. So I always invite people to work with me. I don't invite the world. I only invite people that are in FamFave or FamFave referrals, right? Because those people, I don't even really have to talk about personal development. They'll be talking about it first. That's more important to me than whatever your business is, right? And everything else follows. Personal development Being willing to do it, being committed to do it, knowing that developing yourself is more important than developing your business. What? See, this is why I'm having an amazing fourth quarter. So when you work with me, you do get corporate counsel. Think about corporate counsel. Think about your business having its own legal division down the hall. Like if you're in brick and mortar, that's what you have with me. You're going to get business advising, brand protection. So when I talk about asset insulation and all that, that goes in as a part of brand protection. You get a fully established legal team, and senior people. Like I said, I've been doing this for nearly 30 years. I have other senior people that have been, I don't call them senior unless they've been doing it at least 20 years, right? But you get a whole team and you do get a strategic partner. So even though you have access to the team, you do get me personally, right? So become a family favorite. If you're here, wait, shoot. If you're here, you're already a family favorite. This should say if you need to book a session with me or if you want to chat, and you're not in Business Boost. If you're in Business Boost, you know y'all have me on lock. I am on call for my Business Boost people. But if you are not in Business Boost and you just want to have a chat, maybe about what your plan is for this next 6 weeks or this next however long next 6 weeks, I'm available to you. Just send me a text 646-859-3915. Text I'm in. I do have a calendar link for my Business Boost people. I would like you to not share that one. I have a particular calendar link for other people because I want to keep the Business Boost one separate, open, and available to you. All right, so that's all I have for you today. Let me check the chat. Nothing. Let me check the Q&A. We're good. Okay, I think that's it. I think so. Let me. Yeah. So we're a little bit early. So I get a whole 40 minutes to sip my hot chocolate. It's so good. It's so good. I will see you all either in office hours with Zen today, because it's fully booked up today. And if not today, you're in Business Boost. Then you already have access to the calendar. Go in and grab some slots. I initially was only, I don't know if y'all noticed this. I was initially only going to do 8 sessions for the entire 12 weeks, do 8 sessions, and then, four back to back. But I've been enjoying the conversations with you all so much that we've been meeting weekly, and some of you twice a week, depending on what your needs have been. And it's just been amazing. So I thank you so much for coming along with me on this journey because this is my next 92. This is my fourth quarter as well. And I don't know about you, but I feel amazing. I am accomplishing so much within my business, which is to level up my service for my ideal client. And if you're here, sitting here with me today, you are absolutely my ideal client. And I thank you for trusting me because I know there's trust. There's a thank you for trusting me as we go along this journey. So let me know if y'all need the checklist for Vet Your Tax Preparer, and I will see you. If I don't see you in the next few minutes during office hours with Zen, I will see you next week. Have a great weekend, and thank you so much for this hour. Y'all busy ladies, I know the hour means a lot.